How's it going, everybody? It is Lockhart here, and we just got a survey for solo leveling just to bring in some input, and I feel like as I was writing it down, these things kind of matter a lot to me, okay? I am more or less a casual gamer in the sense of I don't often get sweaty with like the game. I don't get crazy over the content. It doesn't take me... I prefer games that, you know, have some sort of auto feature, stuff like that. And this game kind of has a little bit of all those things, right? Like, it's got that Souls-like difficulty from time to time. You've got great animations, and it does have a full auto feature where the character uses its ultimate, as well as the other skills that kind of come with it. Is the AI the greatest? Probably not. AI definitely needs to improve, and that is numero uno. AI needs some massive overhaul, but I understand that they might not want to do that because they don't want to make it too easy, so that's okay. Like, I understand, I get it, fine, whatever. However, the loading times that come with this is absolutely atrocious. It needs to get fixed. Like, the amount of time it takes to load to do things, I think makes zero sense for me, because you should be able to just, like, if I want to swap a weapon, why is it loading? You know? And there are like little side quests, and we'll get to that in a bit. Little side quests that come with the event that you have to go to what feels like a different portion of the game, or like a flash portal, in order for you to do it. Like, there's a rock paper scissors one, as well as this capsule one. They need to be able to turn that off permanently.
It's just business as usual.
But
Time to warm
it just, I feel like it doesn't make sense. And like, let's say I fail at this stage and I decide to quit so I can change my loadout. There is no like real, like, take me back to the loadout page. You have to kind of just straight up leave, and then you go back in and you're like, oh, okay, you know, change my loadout, and then you can play the stage again. If you retry, it's a little bit faster. If you have to leave to change your loadout, it will take a little bit longer and a little bit too long. There are too many things to click, and I feel like it's kind of crap. The other thing is, I have to do 16 of these gates, but I have to play all of them with only the opportunity to skip 3. So most of the times I'm only doing my skips on red gates if I can't auto it the first time, because whatever reason, maybe I don't have the applicable. Oh wow, Iron's just doing the super 360 there with the spinner and the hammer slam. Anyway, it's just inconvenient. It takes a lot of time, and it doesn't make any sense, I think, to have to consistently try and play this either manually at a higher level or even auto at a lower level. I think it just takes way too much time. And to have to do 16 of these, and let's say you're in my time zone, it's such an awkward restart time, because the restart time for me is like 8 p.m. EST or something like that. Crazy inconvenient. I'm not about it. I don't like it. Some of these animations you can't skip. It
was a good fun.
Not great, guys. Not great. This feels like really 2020, whatever, you know, like, fix it up. Maybe just give me all skips. The other thing too is, you're not oftentimes wanting to do any of the blue gates. You're gonna do purple, you're gonna do yellow, you're gonna do red, because they all offer more than blue gates, and you're gonna try to do S if you can, right? And if you scan and you get all blues, chances are, look at the amount of loading it's taking right now. The chances are you're probably not doing anything if it's all blue, so you have to rescan again. And if you get all blue again, you have to wait. And like, if you want to go ahead of it, you have to spend gems, and I feel like that makes zero sense for me. The dispatch all starts off at 3. I just recently got to 4. I think 3 is fine. It should, I do think this should be upgradable. If you want to do like a heavy tax, like 500 gems to get from 3 to 4, and then like 700 gems to get from like 4 to 5, and then 1,000 to get from 5 to 6, like, I don't think anyone would be opposed to that. Maybe do it even more in the start off with 1,000, and then 15, and then 2,000 maybe. 4 at a time after like a month is kind of ridiculous. That took way too long to get to that point. And there are too many things to click. You have to, there is no upgrade all. Everything upgrades individually. If I want to like upgrade the gun, I can do this, or I have to do the advancement. Oh, guess what? I can go to skills. I need to upgrade these, and guess what? I also need to click, and I have to click more if I want to level up to max. And and if you haven't figured it out, you're not using just a single weapon. You're going to use a couple. Like, you want to have 2 of the same element weapons sometimes, or have like one of your strongest weapon with like the element advantage weapon, because when you do go against the strong element that's on that stage, you will do less damage. Your hunters also need to get their stuff leveled up. That's like kind of whatever. The artifacts for your characters are crazy inconvenient. Not only is there like more than 6, which a lot of people I feel like have gotten used to doing like 4 or 6 in like a total gear set along with a weapon. It's 8 because it's 4 and 4, meaning that you have to individually upgrade, enhance to whatever level you're looking to get to. The only thing is, you have to do and wait the entire process, meaning that if you want to go from 0 to 1 or 0 to 10, you have to do all 10 right away. Like, you have to wait for all of it to happen, right? So let's say I'm gonna like just give you an example. I'm gonna get to 14. It doesn't just straight take me to 14 and tell me how many resources I use. I have to sit through the failures and successes. So sometimes I do it. If I'm going from 0 to 14, let's say, I do it and then I put the phone down because I cannot click out of it. And that is really inconvenient, because that's the one thing I really appreciated with Brown Dust 2. I mean, I'm not a crazy fan of the game, but when I first played it, I was like, oh wow, like I can get to 10, skip it, and it'll tell me how many I use, because like immediately the RNG gets processed and the fails are already known, unless it gets re-rolled and reset with every moment in time, and it needs to record each and every one of those happenings. I don't know, like, it doesn't make any sense. But then I have to do the same thing with skills. I have to go to the individual skill, level it up to however many I can do at the time. I don't like the amount of clicking that requires in this game. Going to that second thing, I have to do the rock paper scissors. You can see I've accumulated a little bit because like it takes a little bit. Then I have to do the other event, which I have to click. In this case is loading. Amazing. I got to claim my rewards. All of that I feel like should just be in missions. Go to missions. Ooh, I have my dailies. I have my weeklies. I have 1 event. I have 2 events. And then just keep them together. Why are they separated? Like, that makes no sense. Along with, same with this, like the battle pass. Like, I feel like the battle pass should be kind of close to the rest of it. You know what I mean? I will say though, however, the battle pass has done something really cool that I don't really think I've seen too much, but you can keep rewarding yourself and then gaining gold. I believe Snowbreak did that shortly after their first battle pass, but I can see that they've already done it here. So it rewards you for finishing it earlier with gold, which you need anyway. Same with achievements. Look, oh, I got some here, but if I have some in everything, I can't just like claim all here. I have to go individually and claim all from each of these categories, which again, annoying. So there's just way too much clicking. I think it sucks and it's not a lot of fun. The farming aspect of it is, again, with the gates, instance dungeon and encore dungeons, you do have to do them, but some of these bosses are crazy hard. I know they're fixing Cerberus because Cerberus is kind of busted, but like to get through him on auto is like annoying. Getting through him on manual is like whatever too. But in the least, because you can buy 2 additional keys from your gates, from completing the gates, technically if you get to around where I'm at, you're always going to be able to buy an extra 2. So you'll have 8 in total and you'll be able to do 4 and 4. So that's like, you got to run this 2 times. So I'll probably do 1 set here, 1 set here. Unless I'm really gunning for a specific set, which could happen. And then again, I do 1 set here, 1 set here. And call it a day. So your stamina portion for these 2, like encores and instance, are not that bad. Gates take a hell of a long time, but that's kind of it. After that, there hasn't been any PvP. In the end game, for more content, you have this, which is like your towers. You can do it with your hunters alone, and then Sung Jinu alone, and then you have Battle of Time, which gets rewards as you go along. This is way harder than it seems, but super cool. I've seen this name a lot. They are working on banning people here, but you know, I'll wait to be surprised. And even this is gonna be done again in a little bit. Oh, anyway, And then Power of Destruction, Season in Progress. You do this from time to time, get additional awards. Oh, 2 teams this time. Okay. Interesting. This time it's 150 million at rank 10. Cool endgame stuff. The last thing. Getting to endgame does mean completing story. And that's pretty important. You want to get to the end as fast as possible. I've taken my time. Again, I've tried to see how casually you can take this game to get to the back end of it and start doing almost all of the content. And the game rewards you with faster progression if you do it manually, because you can dodge, and there is a skill ceiling. Like, the better, if you're good at these types of games, dodging without parry, and being able to counter when needed, and by counter I mean like you dodge and then you use an attack that is one of your QTE attacks. It's not bad. Okay, if you do it at auto, you are looking for a long time to do everything at 100%. As you can see, like in the beginning, I was playing a lot of manual, so I completed a lot of this, and then I just decided, you know what, let's see how far I can get doing auto only. And you can't get very far. Chapter 8 is a skill/DPS check. You get checked super hard here with Egress, and same with the other stuff. So again, AI could be improved, combat could be improved, but the amount of rewards and things that do at the end game, I don't know. I feel like there isn't that much. They cycle through these, so you're always kind of doing stuff. It feels like the re-rolling of certain events, so that way you still have some decent end game, which I think people can play or auto or whatever it is, and that's totally fine. But yeah, the last thing that bothers me a lot, and I've said this in the beginning, as a game that kind of like harps on some aspects of like the Korean culture, I feel like music is definitely like a little bit of it there. And I know, I don't think I've ever felt Netmarble ever did this well per se. Thinking about all of the games I've played by Netmarble, but music is atrocious in this game. I do not like, you lose a lot of the moment if the music is bad, right? Like if you've played a game and you like, I'll take Hoyoverse games. Some of them have some of the best soundtracks. HSR has some of the best music created over and over again for anything new that they bring on. Punishing Gray Raven has some incredible music. I think Wuthering Waves, from what I've seen other people play, is not too bad either. Zenless Zone Zero, I don't imagine it's going to be bad. I've heard some of it's quite it's a more of like that jazzy funk-ish. Even Aethergazer has some decent music to go with all of their events. Like, music is so integral to enhance the gameplay. Because, it gets you in that moment. It's like the kind of thing that like makes the hairs on your back stand up, because you're like, whoa, like the hype is coming, things are about to go down. And most of the time, I just don't get that vibe. I feel like Netmarble continues to make music generically. It's like they go on to like the website where they find stock music so they don't have to pay for it, and they look for the most obscure stuff. Because Seven Nights 2 was like not that great. Ni no Kuni, not that great. Seven Nights 1 was like just downright horrible, but that's just like one of their first gacha games, so like I'll give them that. Like, they improved on a lot of other stuff in Seven Nights 1, but music wasn't one of them. It was just bad. And I feel like even like the Marvel games, like I can't play it because the music sounds like trash. And from time to time, if I'm playing on my PC, I'm trying to go all in, because like I'm upping the graphics, I'm playing at max, probably using controller, and at that point in time, it's because I really need to get through the stage. But they are losing, for me, some serious points with the lack of good music, and there are a lot of other games that are just doing it super well, like, well produced, lots of money put into the soundtrack. And for a game like Solo Leveling, for an IP like Solo Leveling, with the trailers that they released for the anime, with the trailers that they released for the game, I just expected so much more from sound production, because the sound effects are fine, the voice acting is good, like all of those things are all right, but like the moments are like they feel like kind of not so good because of the music or the lack thereof. Honestly, feels counterintuitive almost. And that's it. Those are the things I think they need to fix these things. Honestly, then those are the things I put in my feedback too, because like it's like 2024. A lot of these games are coming out incredibly polished, and a lot of this feels unpolished. So they need to clean this up, because we have all of 5 days until this game goes global, and it's just dragging its feet a little bit. PC client is really good. I can play on iPhone 8. I can play on an old Samsung Galaxy S9. It's not like super great, but it's stable, and it can be and it can get the job done if you're playing on auto. I'd imagine it's gonna be a lot better with like my iPhone 15 Pro Max. It'll probably play really, really well, because the phone plays most of these games pretty decently. So I'm really curious to see how well that will do. I know it'll get hot, but it is what it is. But these other aspects of it feel like things that belong in like a closed beta test. And I understand that the early access is like a public version of this. It's like an open beta, let's say, but you carry on your progression. So clearly it's 98% of the game is here with some tweaking. And I know they've heard and they've listened to a lot of feedback, which is amazing, because they did that, and they talked about the rates, they talked about some of the difficulties and how hard those stages are and things like that. And so like I know they'll take their feedback. I'm hoping they continue to do it, because I know people have different experiences with Netmarble. I know Netmarble from 7 Nights 1. That was like my first game that was really a big gacha for me, and they were like the people like that kind of put a lot of blood and sweat into that game. They revamped like the looks, they revamped the voices, they did a lot to keep that game alive, and it only closed just recently, like 2 years ago, I guess, I don't know, or a year ago, which is like crazy long for any gacha. And so I know them for a company that can put in effort, but over the years, from the games I've played, from what I see now, I know there are corners that they try to cut when they can, and it sucks. But I think for an IP that is as loved as this one, like, let's just not, you know, like, this can be a good contender. I feel like this game has lots of potential to really like solidify its place in the gacha space, because like in a little bit we're gonna have Wuthering Waves. In the summer, when Wuthering Waves has died out, we're gonna have Zenless Zone Zero. And what is solo leveling gonna do? Because Netmarble isn't like a tiny little production company. We're not talking about like this like indie company that's coming out of nowhere. No, Netmarble has done games for a long time. They've taken some big titles and they've kind of run with them. And yes, they have messed up some, and they've did okay with others. And I think they need to learn and really get into it and make sure that they're putting their best foot forward, because they're taking a title that carries a lot of hype and already has a decent fan base. And from what I can see, there are people who are very excited about this game. There are already some big name content creators making content for this game, Vulcan being one of them. Like, the fact that he's playing this game, for me, feels like, okay, like, that is somebody in the bag that if you continue to impress this guy, and I know he's like can be short term sometimes because he likes to hop in, really grind it out, and then move on to the next hot topic. But like, you know, he'll still stick with it. He still sticks with HSR. He still sticks with some other games. But this is like a great opportunity to really like pick up on some other people, to like content creator wise, to really continue on and build the community. So I'm hoping that they really continue on to take the feedback, because that's like a huge thing right now, is where developers are really taking feedback from the players themselves, and they're really like putting an ear to the ground to get a better feel for it. But that's kind of it. I've been yapping quite a bit. I'm so sorry. This was like a whole static image, and I realized I should have probably just been doing something else, and maybe like even just zooming in and out the whole time. But if you've watched until this point, please like, comment, subscribe. I am as of this very moment so close to 500 subscribers, which would be super stellar if I could get an additional 2 from this one. Thank Thank you, and I'll catch you guys on this. Oh, actually, sorry. Last question. What do you guys like about the game? Are you playing it already? Do you feel like you're still gonna keep playing it? And who is the hunter you're most excited about? And call it out if you have spoilers involved. Everything's gonna be a spoiler, actually, if I'm asking this question. But I am super curious. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys later.